Welcome to Just in Our Minds. Today's guest is a good friend of mine. I've been training with him on and off for years. It's one of Utah's most exciting pro fighters. His name is Julian Ruiz. He's a savage when it comes to everything martial arts, and he has such an amazing story. Thank you for all the likes and subscribes, and please keep those shares going. Without your support, this podcast wouldn't be anything. Brother, thanks for coming in today. It's been a long time coming to get you on the podcast.
Yeah,
So,
my bad.
no, it's okay.
Busy guy.
No worries. Like it was like everything's divine timing, right? So everything's the way it's supposed to happen. Now you got a business too, so now we got more to talk about.
More to talk about, exactly.
Yeah. So I was like, in the intro in general, I kind of brought up, I was like, yeah, I mean, him have been training on and off for a long time since like, I don't know, like 2017?
I'd say like 2018.
Yeah, no, something like that.
Yeah, because that's when I moved here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
And yeah, you were one of the first people I met. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago, dude. That's so crazy.
So when we didn't have a gym, I used to just bounce around with Ramsey. And I remember when I met you, is because we're going to meet up at Jeremy Horns to train, and I showed up early, and then you were there early.
Yep.
And then I think, if I believe correctly, I think nobody showed or something, and then me and you just trained on our own or something like that.
Yeah, just trained.
Then we chopped it up, and you were telling me about your fitness stuff, and then you actually showed me an app, and that's what I really thought that was interesting, and then just kind of went from there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's been a fun friendship since.
I know.
Just like keep up.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate
you too.
friendship.
Support, man.
Exactly.
It's hard out nowadays when you have strangers supporting you more than friends sometimes.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, no. I think I posted last night. So.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's wild. You see those videos, and I'm like, that's true.
You know, at this point in time, it really is like that for me. You know, I have so many random strangers always hitting me up, support me, and like give me messages of encouragement. So, you know, I appreciate it now.
Yeah, to each our own. Like the way it's supposed to crumble, or the way the cookie crumbles, right? You know, like you're going to be able to dial that in, and it's so easy to take offense to things or like take things personal along the journey. That was something I did too. You know, it's like, man, where's all the support? So like I just try to show the support that I want back.
Yeah, exactly.
But some people just don't know. Like they don't realize.
They don't realize what they're doing. So I mean, it is what it is. You know, everybody's got their lives and everything they're focused on. So they don't really see the things the way that other people are seeing. They're like trying to go out and do stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And they don't realize even their support matters. Like they don't realize, they just think, exactly. I'm a nobody. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
It always gets me is like when you hear people like, they're like, oh man, I loved your this or that, you know, and it's like, motherfucker, you never liked a damn thing. You never shit.
Like, oh, so you saw it. You're telling me you saw it. You didn't react to it by any means or nothing, you know?
My favorite thing is like some of these essays and like like some of my friends back in California, they're like Bloods and Crips and blah, blah, blah. You know, like different people. I'm like, dude, why didn't you share? He's like, oh, gangsters don't share that shit. We just watch it. Like I support it, but I can't like that. Like, I can't like motivational videos. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? If you like it, you like it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Some people are weird like that. I got some friends in Texas. They don't really like post or share stuff. And I have a friend from Maryland. They're real particular about stuff. I remember one time he was telling me that he was messaging me, or I was messaging that profile. And it wasn't him, it was his cousin. And I was like, why was your cousin on your profile? He's like, I just let him borrow it. I was like, what do you mean you let him borrow it?
Let him borrow it.
Yeah, it's so hood over there. That's what they do. You know?
Yeah,
keep the low key and then use the account to look or search stuff.
Burner accounts.
Yeah. They had like 5 people on the same account, you know?
You're like, damn, this is whoever the cousin is got some thugonomics in here.
Yeah, exactly. Got some thugged out friends.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I feel you. Same. But yeah, brother, getting into it, like, I know your journey for MMA and boxing, just mixed martial arts. You're a lifelong mixed martial artist. And where did that journey really start for you? Was it, I know it was high school wrestling. Like, was it before then? Like, what got you into like wanting to start this heavy grind?
I don't know. I could say like, as far back as I can remember, I I remember being a little kid and watching like a Jet Li movie, and I had this specific moment where I was standing in my mom's room and I was looking at her bed, and I was like, if I could sacrifice my whole life to be like a monk or like a martial artist like Jet Li, or to live a normal life, I would become the martial artist. And then as I grew up and like kind of had the opportunity to do that, and I always, as a kid growing up, I was always fighting. Not a troubled kid, but for some reason, I feel like violence is always attracted to me, and people are always fighting around me, or me getting pushed into fights and stuff. But when I was in high school, I saw some fights locally in the town, and I was like, when I turn 18, I want to do that. And it was kind of like, I had just barely started training. It wasn't really going to happen.
Because you wrestled too, right?
Yeah, because I wrestled.
Yeah.
So, a little bit after me training, I was training at one gym for a month or two, and then they shut down, and I went to this other gym. And, like, they didn't even let me go in there without my mom signing a waiver.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after I turned 18, 4 days after, the dude was like, hey, you're doing pretty good with the professionals. They need a fight over here. At the Western Park, you'd be able to fight in front of the town, and they'll actually pay you, and they usually don't pay amateurs. So I was like, I did say I'd do it when I was 18, so I think it was meant to be, and I took the fight. It went well. I usually don't tell a lot of people. It's not even on my record or nothing like that, but I was beating the dude up really well, and then I just got caught in a submission that I had no idea how to get out of. And then I came back, and I was like, I think I can do better than that. And then after that, I knocked somebody out really quick, and then I just went on this big knockout streak. And I was like, I'm pretty naturally good at this. So
I love that. Yeah, no, like as soon as you're in there and you get that, like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this forever.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I stepped in there, I'm not gonna lie, like as I was walking up, I was like, this is really happening. Well, the kid that I fought too, I didn't really get to see him because he showed up late to the weigh-ins, and then he had all his clothes on, as we were warming up. And when he walked out, he looked like a tall nerd and like skinny. And then when I walked up to the cage, he was freaking jacked, dude. He was like 6 foot, dude. Yeah. His chest was poking out, and it was his obliques that really got me. His obliques were poking out so hard. His shoulders and triceps were pretty impressive. I remember seeing all that specifically in that moment. It was like I froze for like 5 seconds, like seeing his whole body and his physique. I was like, shit, for real?
Oh, damn.
I looked up at the crowd and seen everybody, and I swear I thought I saw my parents and stuff. I was like, fuck, God damn.
I guess I'm here. Better just clock in.
And then when I like went up the steps, just like the feeling, I touched them with my hands. I crawled in. I was like, holy shit. I can't, ain't no backing out now. Yeah. Can't be scared now.
John Jones, I got to John Jones this.
And I mean, in that fight too, when we started fighting, it was just like this, again, when you make contact with somebody, it's like everything kind of goes away.
Yeah.
And it just becomes normal, and that's how it was. I was like, I was picking him. I picked him up and slammed him like 3 times, and like I had never really struck too much or had too much experience with that. It was just natural, and just in there, I was able to avoid shots and land them, and I was doing everything really good. I was dominating, other than a standing guillotine. I just didn't know how to get out of it.
Oh man,
he got me in it in the first round. And I remember that moment too, because it was so fucking deep, and I was like trying to jump over. He had me in it, and I was like jumping up, throwing my legs in the air, just trying to give myself space so I could catch a breath and like hold it again. But there was a second I put my hand up. I was like, fuck this, and I was like, no, hold it out. And then I heard the bell clapping, the clappers, and I made it out. But then the next round, he got me in it again, and I was so gassed. Like I was beating him up really bad. His face is all like bloody and red and stuff, and I took him down a bunch. But he had that thing super deep the second time. I was like, fuck. And the ref asked me if I tapped too, because he's like, keep going. And the dude's corner's like, he tapped. And I sat there and thought about it for a second. I was like, shit. But I was tired, and I was just like, it is what it is. I was like, I fucking tapped. I'll be honest with it, Be the martial artist about it. Yeah. I really could have lied and kept going, and I for sure would have won, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
He probably would have got me in it again.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's how it all started, and then, just fighting. I was kind of not troubled growing up, but I mean, kind of. I got like a DUI. I moved out of my parents' house, and I was in college and stuff, and I had problems with my paying my rent and stuff in my apartment down in St. George. And yeah, I had a mentor named Travis Marks, and he was like the best fighter coming out of the Uinta Basin where I'm from, and he had a bunch of wins in Bellator and stuff, and he trained down with John Jones and stuff in Albuquerque, and he told me I had potential, and he started a gym there, and he let me work and help out at the gym, and after a little bit, he moved the gym to St. George, and he had a serious talk with me, and he's like, yeah, I mean, you have potential, and you can, you're really good. I think you should move with me and help me move this gym. We'll get you going and get you out of this town. I was like, all right, let's do it. And then after a little bit in St. George, he told me that I needed to move out of there too. I just needed to leave Utah. And he was going to set me up to go down to Albuquerque. And then my big brother called me one day and was like, hey, I'm moving to Salt Lake. I want you to move down and live with me so you can be close to family. There's good training up there as well. And pretty much was like, yeah, the military is gonna pay for us to live, so you're not gonna have to pay rent. You don't even have to work or nothing. That never happened, but but yeah. So then I ended up moving here, and then when I moved here to Salt Lake, I was like, I was training at the Snake Pit with Jake Paul, which that's who I had been coming back and forth from when I was living in Vernal to train with. And then when I got here again, I was training with him, and then one other gym, I can't remember what it's called. I feel like he might have went there. I think it was the University of Grappling or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I knew there was like better fighters and higher level guys like Ramsey and Cora. Essentially, that's who I came out here to train with and meet with those guys. Yeah, I had heard about all that, so I came out here to train with those guys, and I liked the guys I was training with and everything. And then I went to the Ultimate Combat because Dominico I had met at a fight, and he told me that Ramsey worked there. So I went there, and I was like, hey, does Ramsey work here? And they were like, no, but we have these guys. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I ended up meeting my boxing coach, Sione. And yeah, I mean, that's where I really got into boxing. He showed me his style and everything. And so I was like, all right, I guess I can make it do with the boxing coach and then this MMA gym, no matter who it is, I'm going to work hard. And then one ironic day, we had a open gym at the Ultimate Combat. They used to do open gyms on Sundays or open mat, and everybody used to go grapple. And I've been wanting to go, and I didn't, but this specific day I had a feeling to go. So I went. And when I got there, I saw Ramsey walking. I was like, oh, shit. Me and my big brother have been watching him on The Ultimate Fighter because it was recent. It just barely happened. And I was like, ah, damn, he's here. I tried not to, fanboy or say what's up to him. And, I stayed away from him. And then upstairs, I saw him come out of the bathroom. And I was like, oh, shit, that's really him. And, he said what's up to me. And, when we went downstairs, he was grappling. I went and sat by his water bottle because I saw where it was. And then he came out and asked me to roll with him. And I did, and he put me in this deep submission, and everybody saw it because he squells it hard, and he didn't finish it, and everybody was, giving him shit about it and was saying I was tough. And then he's like, hey, you should come train with me. And I was like, for real? Yes! And then I was like, all right. He's like, yeah, I'm, the best trainer around here and best coach, and, tell me about himself. I'm like, dude, you ain't got to tell me. I know who you are. Yeah. So then, we went there, and when I first got here, he was still competing, so...
That was a murderer's row too. Josh, who's there? Josh Berkman, Clay Collard, Ramsey.
Well, at that time, it was mostly Ramsey, Court, Nate Hewlett, and then Steve would come down a lot, and then I feel like there was one other guy that would train with us that was pretty good. Oh, David Putt.
Puffin.
Oh, yeah,
Puffin.
you know him. Yeah, he's from the Horns. Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to come train with us, so it was
He was a savage
group.
too, dude.
That's the reason we went to Jeremy Horns is because of him.
Yeah.
And he was on a big tear, and then I think he had some big title fight.
That was him and David Allred. When I think that was around the same time because Allred was in Bellator too back then.
Yep. So they were coming up, and him and Nate were both on a big win streak and coming up hard. So it was just good to be around those older guys and train with the pros that were on the higher level. And then Ramsey was obviously on the highest level, pretty much, in court. and Steven. Like,
Court still is.
yeah,
It's so crazy.
Court's still there. So
Probably one more fight, it sounds like.
yeah, I think that's what he was telling me.
Good
He's
for
gonna
him.
focus on coaching. So yeah, good for him. Right off into the sunset, So
That's a mean career for him, but
I know sport's brutal. So wait till I tell you about what happened to me.
Yeah.
My last fight. So
Introducing Elevate Hydrogen Water, designed to help support hydration and your active lifestyle with molecular hydrogen infused water. Whether you're crushing a workout, recovering from a long day, or struggling on a podcast like I am today, Elevate Hydrogen Water is going to be the staple for you. It invigorates your cells, and it's going to be the extra boost naturally that you're going to get out of water. So water's not enough. The hydrogen water is going to be that much better. Elevate Hydrogen Water. Thank you for the sponsor. Website is drinkelevate.com. And if you're here in Utah, reach out to Dallas. Just one more distributors. So one of my favorite stories is like when we always touch base, we always see how you're like what you're doing is like when you were doing the you're boxing, kickboxing, and doing MMA fights all in the same year.
oh yeah, back when I was amateur, I was just so down to fight then, and like that's what I always tell these amateurs is like you just got to be willing to like fight. I was blessed enough to be able to work at the gym to where I could just barely make enough to pay my rent, but I had sponsors that were giving me money every time I like fought.
Mm-hmm. And you were undefeated across the board.
Yeah, everybody, was just supporting me. I was just tearing everybody up in everything I did. I was just, I made it. I lost 2 big fights, I think, that year. And one was at the state Golden Gloves, and I lost to John. Mm-hmm. But he was a lot more experienced. I only had like 7 or 8 fights at that time, too. Never lost, but... I lost in the state finals to him, and then I lost at a national Muay Thai tournament.
Loss.
yeah, exactly. I could live with that one, and it was close too. I thought at the time I thought I won. Now look.
Well, I was gonna say another close one for you too is you and Mitch Ramirez.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Mitch for his UFC and whatnot. What he's doing. That was
exactly the high level. Yeah, I mean that was a great fight too. That time I was looking to fight somebody and. They didn't have anybody in my way at the time anywhere that wanted to fight me. And then,
because I've watched that fight a couple times, and that was a banger. That was a good fight.
That one really like showed me, what I was about, especially, like that I was meant for this. And then even more so, him making it and all the success that he had. But like, they told me that he was just a wrestler, and Cody, and I didn't really know him that well. I just knew he was a promoter, so I'm like, this fool's lying. He's probably going to try to strike me. So that's mostly what we're working on, too, because he was from a bigger gym. But then, he was just so big and so damn strong, dude. He was like a
155 or whatever. And like
that was my
size.
I was going up from 45, and he was dropping down. I think that was like his first time hitting it because he had fought like a couple times at 170 and making that way.
That's
he was
another
so
motherfucker
shredded.
you watch walk out. You're like, what the
And like getting ready for that fight too, we were like hanging out. My coach was like, they're talking, how coaches get there over there talking to everybody. Because
that's when he's the absolute, right?
Yeah, he was the absolute. I was still in Vernal. Coaching, everybody's having fun. We're like talking to people before you know it. They're like, hey, you got to get ready. And I'm like, shit, we're barely starting to rap. They're like, he's suiting up and like they're wrapping this hand. And I see him walking with his coaches up to come up the stage, and my heart was just fucking racing. I was like, "Are you fucking serious? That fool looks big too." And
did he get bigger?
I was like, "Yeah, did he get fucking bigger when he walked by? He looked like a bear, dude. He had a normal, like I think he had like a t-shirt or a hoodie on or something, but it was like it was tight, and I seen it." And I was like, damn, my heart stopped. And like all I did to warm up was like a bunch of straight punches, a bunch of sprawls, like 2 kicks, and that was it. And it was went out there to fight. And when we went out to fight too, I walked in.
Was that one in Vernal?
It was in Price.
Oh, Price. I knew it was downtown somewhere.
Yeah, it was in Price for Fierce. So it was in that little place in the county. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so when I fought him, it was just like, I was pissed off about all that. And then when I went in, I was kind of like throwing a fit. And I was like, all right, let's just fucking get this motherfucker. Yeah. And we started like striking. And then when he grabbed me, I was like, I sprawled hard and he just blasted through. I was like, damn, this is a different type of strength.
Up, down. The whole fight, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like you said, test your will, your endurance. Like, oh,
Well, that's where I knew I had like a good stand-up defense because he was strong and he was big, and I just kept getting up and I was able to create space. And like I knew that like with fear, your strength triples, or even more than that. Because like I was scared that day, and there was times like when he first shot in, I felt the strength difference. Even with that, the fear like pushed me because I was like, there's no other choice. And I remember seeing my mom and dad, and I was like, shit, you could tell they were scared. And I was like, I'm all right.
yeah, I'll figure this shit out.
He actually knocked me out. Flash knocked me out too in the first round. We were like going, he hit me, and I like was like dazed, I remember. And then he hit me again, and it woke me up, and then I was able to get away.
Yeah,
if he would have just backed up, it probably would have been done right there.
Oof.
Would have been a quick little TKO.
Yeah.
But that's how this game is. It's crazy. One little inch or one little movement could have made the difference. He could have knocked me out. It could have not been a competition. Everybody been like, oh, who this fucking dumbass from Vernal. But because I was able to push that little second pass, we were able to have that war. And even though I didn't get my hand raised,
it was close. That was a close fight. Like,
yeah,
that was
what ended
I
up
watched
happening
it like multiple times, and I'm like, that was like sixes for me.
Well, what ended up happening is it was a majority win, so it was a draw two ways, and one judge had me winning, but they ended up actually taking a point in the second round. So then it switched it over, and then it had him winning like that way. So it was really close, close as it could be.
And then you guys ended up being training partners, technically, right?
Yeah, we were training partners, and we just had a problem because not like because we were like be heated, but we would just train really hard. And I feel like for a bit at the one gym, we were training a lot together, and we would just get hurt. We
were training really hard. Limits too hard.
Yeah, there's one time
Vegeta.
Exactly. It was like he Vegeta'd my ass one time. He took me down so hard that he like fell on his shoulder and something and like hurt his shoulder that way. And like just how it was for me too, like I would like defend things so hard that I would like pop shit out of place.
Yeah, I remember that. Y'all were always getting injured.
It was just little injuries too, nothing like serious, but just from us like going too hard.
That was actually one of the fan questions. I'll just throw that in now. Is they asked if there's like, so they asked us like, do you think overtraining can be real? And do you think, what is the amount of fighters that you think that undertrain?
I think most fighters undertrain. I do think overtraining, I used to not believe in it at all, but yeah, it for sure is real in a sense, the way you look at it.
Right, within your environmental factors and
the way you look, it depends on what you count as training, because there technically no thing is overtraining, because if you count your recovery as training, which you should, then there's no such thing, because once you get to a certain point where you've strained your body, then it's time to train it a different way by recovering it. You got to put effort into your recovery. I mean, you can just sit there and just eat and not do anything, but then you're fucking wasting time. You can do hand-eye recovery. You can do yoga. You can work on your mind and meditate. When I was younger, I mean, I'm still like that right now, but I just got different aspects now in my life. But when I had nothing and just fighting, and that's all I thought about it, I would think about that throughout the day. I'm like, if there's more I could do, I would. And like the hour gaps I would have throughout the day, just sit there and do nothing, I would be doing like hand-eye coordination and like drills on the wall and stuff like that, So I don't really think you can. If you ask me, no, there's no such thing as overtraining. But
there's calculated training, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can overstrain yourself. Yeah, you can't be stupid.
If doing dumb busy work, like I feel like that can happen sometimes too. Like you said, like there's training, and then there's like just ego training sometimes too.
Exactly.
Or like another thing too is like not having strategics. In my opinion, is like like you're training wrestling, striking, and then you have people do barbell bench press and all these things to tighten things back up again, and you just end up with injuries because of not having specifics. Like nowadays, at least they have the UFC PI and all these opportunities that or higher level coaches and things like that to be able to.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's important to just have a good team and experience around you. A lot of people, a lot of these up and coming guys, and like don't take advantage of the more experience they have. Everything I learned is only from experienced people, and I would not just only ask one person. I ask multiple, and even to this day, I have multiple chiropractors, multiple doctors. When I'm competing,
shout
I see
out to
them.
Tom too at US Cryotherapy.
Yeah, exactly. I have all my resources. Got Tom. Shout out to US Cryo. Just places like that. But and even at places like that, you get really intelligent people that come in. So It's just kind of like my fighting too. You know, I have all sorts of coaches, and you know, I'm the one who's in there fighting. So like, I hear about all this stuff, and then I come up with what I believe, you know, what works for me.
And dude,
stuff.
and you have like a freaking solid career. Like you've been in the PFL. You've pro boxing, right? And you were just amateur kickboxing, right? Did you?
Yeah, I had I think one pro kickboxing match, and it fell out super quick. But I've been trying to. It'll probably be a while. Maybe one day I'll do that. But that's definitely something I've always wanted to do. Every single year I talk to...
Go to Thailand or something?
Yeah, I've talked to Kwame about doing a fight here. You know, I do want to go to Thailand too. The end of the year, I might think about going out there for like a month or two.
Go hang out with Talon.
Yeah, go hang out with Talon.
After he got off that podcast, he was like, I'm going to Thailand. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I was trying to go out there because he was in Korea too.
I see him with Alex and all the like Volkanovski, and like I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
He's 24. Do it, man. Live out there. Like, why not? He's like, I might stay here. I was like, you should.
I'm like, why not?
You're 24.
You know?
And it's so much, your dollar goes so much further out there.
Exactly. You know, it's just an experience that it'd just be amazing, an amazing time in your life. I kind of wish I did that too, but you know, I'm grateful for what I've done.
Yeah.
And I can't say I regret anything.
And
you're
a big pillar for a lot of individuals. Like you've helped out so many people along your journey too, like me included, and then tons of amateur fighters and just different people. So you're like a staple for Utah as well. So it's been great for so many fighters. Yeah, it's a real thing. You know, like you're a great coach. Like you've even the few amount of times like you've coached me for striking, you pointed out things that I was like, how the fuck did I not ever?
I appreciate that, man. That's why I like to pride myself on just being a good person. You know, I'm not famous by any means, but as far as Salt Lake goes, you could say I'm Salt Lake famous. You know, I go
King Julian. Everybody knows you around here.
Everybody knows me around this place.
Yeah, but people outside the state know you too. They like that's why you got people dodging fights.
No, everywhere I go, like I say, you know, I've never been to a gym and not like been looked at and been like asked who I am, you know, and people tell me I got skill. And then I keep it real, so I'm able to go to gyms, and I got the skill enough to not get hurt and not hurt people, and to compete in a certain way. And then I got the personality to match it, so everywhere I go, I make friends. You know,
100%.
Not to be like cocky that I'm like super popular or nothing like that, but I'm just, you know, I keep it real and real see real. So
yeah, exactly.
A lot of these fighters that are good are, you know, real people.
Well, you have to have that level of confidence to make it anywhere in life, you know, and I think you have that. Having that bravado as a fighter is like something that's needed.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you get humbled over time as you get older. You'll realize where you should probably pump the brakes on the cockiness, but
exactly, you know, it's how it is. You know, you got to be what's the word I'm looking for? You got to be delusional, you know. You got to see yourself in a different way, and I definitely am, and thus far, you know, it's paid off in my life from what I've seen and what I've done, and even to this point, you know, things that I've imagined and what I'm visualizing, you know, I've been becoming the person that I always visualized, and it's like really mind blowing. For
your career so far, like what have been some of the biggest hurdles, and what are some of the things that you've accomplished that your younger self you think would be most impressed with, like, or like the things that you checked? Like, I know you checked a lot of boxes, but
so my first check ever, I mean, was a title, you know, because I feel like that's always every young fighter, every fighter's dream in general, is just to have a title. And you know, when I first moved here to Salt Lake, I got offered to fight for a title, and I was like, dude, you got to lock in. You know, if you go, you might not be, if you don't win this fight, you know, you might go your career without being a champion. And then you can't, I was like, in my head, I couldn't move on to be a pro until I did that. And, yeah, when I got that first one, it was just so fucking mind blowing. It was surreal. And then, to add on to that, the younger self would be really impressed. You know, I can confidently say I'm the best amateur that's ever come out of Utah. Because then that same year, you know, I won every title that you can win here in Utah, back to back in the first round, and they were all really good guys that I fought too. So
yeah, your track record in Utah is great.
So yeah, I mean, that's where I got a lot of respect. I cleaned everybody up, and that first fight too. A lot of people in Salt Lake, because it was at the FitCon. There was a lot of people there, and they saw how clean I cleaned that guy up. You know, and he was really tough. He was like 4-0 undefeated. And he had only fought guys from Vegas and like knocked those guys out and stuff. And everybody was kind of like overlooking me at that time because they kind of had seen me fight before and everything. But I was just on a different level at that moment. I never really had a boxing coach like that. And then when I did, it was just
dialed in.
Yeah, especially in that moment, I was like, dude, that moment was slow motion. But then, at the same time of that moment, I was just like, it was really uncomfortable. I think my nutrition wasn't on point, but I always remember being so fucking comfortable or uncomfortable in that fight. Like when we started getting it at first, I was just like kind of like dogging there. But then it's just like my cardio was like, my energy was draining so hard, so fast. And then there was a moment where he threw a punch and I rolled under and it was like slow motion. I saw him, I was like, there it is. And I hit him so clean and so hard. And like that punch landed so clean that it almost exploded inside of my body, that it took all my energy. And I remember like dropping my hands, being like, oh, fuck. And then the ref stepped in and stopped it. And I was like, thank goodness. And then, yeah. So and then I was like, damn, fighting.
You like even take a breath now. You're like, fuck.
I was like, damn, dude, fighting is a tough sport. And
that's a real side too. Like you can have like we're saying, we're both tired. You have those days when you go in there, whether it's training. Oh, that's another fan question. It's like, what is something that most humans don't understand about fighting from an amateur level and a pro level? Like, what is it about fighters that you think is underlooked or overlooked as from a casual standpoint?
Them fools are dumber than you guys think. No, it's fine. Yeah, that is fine.
They get the nerds waked up.
Fighters are just a different type of athlete, just like mentally, I guess. I feel like fighting, like MMA specifically too. I mean, every other martial arts, but MMA blends them all together. It's a top form of what a human could be. It's in every single sport. If you start playing the sport and you start arguing, you're going to start fighting. It's just a natural reaction no matter what. It's a natural thing for people to fight. So that's like the purest sport is like physical combat of all those. So I think martial arts or mixed martial arts is a top tier.
And how the psychedelic aspect and like the ritual of like the weight cut and the people I feel like a lot of people don't understand how
like that. Yeah, I mean that's what I was getting to, is that people that do martial arts are just like, their brains are so different, so when you can get it, if you're able to get into it, there's nothing but positivity that comes out of it. If you can have a successful career, you can do anything in life. They say once you wrestle, everything else is easy, which is actually true, because wrestling is harder than MMA. But it's the same thing. Same thing with fighting. It's like once you do that, it's like those guys are mentally able to do a lot that are successful. The ones that are stupid and just keep getting beat up and shit like that, probably wouldn't hire those guys to do anything for me in any point in my life, But yeah, that, and then, I mean, just how soft fighters are. Everybody thinks that fighters are, these tough guys that are like have no emotions, but they're probably like the softest people there are. They have like the biggest hearts and they get offended the most. I mean, that's why they're in fucking cold gyms, fucking hitting bags and fucking letting their energy out and smacking shit and like getting hit and stuff.
Yeah.
So not to say that everybody's got to be troubled, but just like, Max Holloway says, how can a rich kid fight? Some of them that do, it's usually because their parents, make them or, force them to get into that. And then they have, other demons that people don't know about. But
that's like that 1.01% of those kind of guys. But most of them come from, the hole in the wall. They have nothing else. And
exactly.
You have like the Sean Stricklands and the...
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's like guys that grow up wrestling and their whole life, but then that's a different type of cold. They had money their whole lives, but then they, just never wanted to wrestle, never wanted to compete, and were forced to do that. So then they feel like that's all they know. So I feel like there's a lot of these fighters right now, that are retired and they're coming back and doing all these other sports because that's all they know is just compete. So that's why I'm grateful too that like the times that I've gotten injured, I've been able to do like other sales jobs, and sales jobs in general were the things that were able to like support me financially, but give me the time I could to train. Like a job, if you give me a job to where more effort I put in, the more I get out of it, I was like, shit, easy, and that's how sales always was for me. And I went through the ringer with sales, I have so much sales experience. And I mean, there was times where it was like I'd be out there knocking on doors and stuff and not getting sales. And it was like, shit, dude, I want to go home so bad. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, but I don't have gas money. I don't have nothing to go in the fucking money to go in that store to get nothing to eat. And it's like you get paid by week, you know, most sales companies when you're door knocking. And it's like, yeah, he gets it.
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, motherfucker, it's Friday. You better get up and make a fucking sale to get that 150 or whatever you're trying to get. Because if you quit now and you go home and sleep, you're not getting anything tomorrow.
It translates to fighting too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It translates to fighting. There's no in between. You know, somebody's got to eat. It's either you or them. You know, and if you want it bad enough, you know, it can be like both people equaled out. You know, like a night like me and Mitch. But yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is.
He's in sales too.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of fighters could be in sales and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, so I always had a different mindset too. And like once I heard about sales and was just like, oh, that's the experience I need. That it's gonna get me to the point I want to be one day.
It's scary too. It's the same kind of concept, right? That like, I mean, apparently you're not getting punched in the face, but Jesus, those knocking on doors and stuff, dude, it feels like you get punched in the face.
Dude, I have
an old lady flip you off through the
yeah, telling you to fuck off and getting out of there. People, I don't know what it is about my demeanor. I feel like these like big scary guys were always like cool to me and stuff in sales.
I never had an issue like, but it is like, dude, that's scary as hell. Like walking up to random doors, you're like, I have to talk to these people that don't want me knocking on their door.
There was the one time I ever had somebody bring out a gun. A dude pulled out a gun. He had like a short handle like shotgun and pulled it up like that. Oh, and he was like this hood ass Mexican. I was like, dude, what are you doing? I said it just like that. I was like, dude, what are you doing? He said, oh yeah, sorry, this neighborhood's pretty rough. I was like, dude, I'm just wondering about your roof. He's like, oh, what's up? And he like even took the time to let me pitch and talk to him after that. But I was like talking to him kind of annoyed and like walking away at a distance. And I was like, I think he was just a goofball that was just trying to like act all cool. And maybe that neighborhood was actually rough. So maybe
he was out for a couple days.
Is in West Valley and shit. But yeah, I've had all sorts of crazy experiences in sales and it's pushed me to be where I am. And I told myself, you know, after my last sales job, I was like, you know, I'm going to sell. I love selling stuff and I want to have a product that's like good that I can sell to people that's not going to break the pocket, that's going to benefit their lives and make be something positive. And I was like, next time I sell something, it's going to be for myself. I'm not going to sell for anybody else. And then, I mean, that's where
I was going to say that was a good setup right there. You just right in. Speaking of knocking, I'm going to knock this right out the park. But yeah, so let's talk about the Super Moy. This episode is brought to you by Terrace Metrics. We want to thank them for being on the podcast. In a world where we're constantly trying to better understand ourselves and the people around us, Terrace Metrics is helping lead that conversation. Their platform provides professional insights into how people think, communicate, learn, and work together, helping schools, businesses, coaches, and organizations create stronger relationships and better outcomes. Whether you're developing leaders, building healthier teams, or creating environments where people can thrive, Terrace Metrics gives you practical tools backed by meaningful data to help unlock human potential. If you're ready to improve communication, strengthen your culture, and better understand the people you lead, visit Terrace Metrics to learn more. And if you reach out, make sure to let them know you heard about them on the Just in Our Minds podcast. That's terracemetrics.org. Thank you for being a sponsor. Like I'm guessing that's like a family like a lineage for that for the
So we've had this recipe for 100 years.
Really?
Nah, it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Really, how it came out was
great grandmother went into the tamarindo tree.
No, so what it all happened was, like I said, you know, I've always wanted to start a company and stuff, and I originally was going to start a fruit truck, like a fruit stand, and kind of like try to grow that up, because I mean that's like something I feel is really popular in an untouched market and can positively help people, and you know, eating more fruit and having like a positive like snack to do it, and then I always had that idea, and then throughout the years, I was watching the acai bowls grow and get more popular. And then there's a place that opened up right where I was living, right beside it. It closed down a cookie shop, and it opened up there, and I was like, dang, maybe I could have like a fruit stand, like a chain of them. But I was like, yeah, people aren't just going to buy fruit. And then I started seeing a lot of things go viral, and then the chamoy pickle is really viral, and me and my girlfriend were doing a lot of pickles at the time. So like I was really into the chamoy, and then like I thought about it and I was like, these the chamoy is really viral. So, if I could make a chamoy, if I could make a good chamoy, I feel like that would be good and it would go hand in hand with the fruit. So then I was like making some recipes and thinking of some stuff, and then my mom is just like literally the greatest cook I've ever met. Like everything she touches, she absolutely kills. And like not even just a little bit, like she's really, really good.
Tons of love in that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's like, again, kind of just like with the sauce, when she touches stuff, it's not only me who thinks that, other people, it stands around. She stands out. So I was like, yeah, I need help making this recipe. And then she's like, I got it handled, and then she whipped something up, and I kind of liked it, and I like wanted to touch some stuff with the textures, and other people was recommending we add other things that were unnatural, but we wanted to keep it like 100%. So we put like honey and other things in it, and then I bought like 30 different chamoys, tried them all out, and like tested everything, and then one day, boom, we had it and tasted it. A flavor house, I think that's it. And then I started showing people and seeing if they liked it, and a lot of people, said they liked it. But they're also my friends, so I'm like, they're obviously going to say they like it. So now I'm going to try selling a little bit, under the table. And then I was selling it to people. Yeah, not really. I was giving it away. People
allegedly.
So I was giving it to people, and they were starting to tip me.
Yeah.
And then people were starting to tip really well as I was giving it out. More people were asking, so I was getting more tips. I was like, okay, I think it's doing all right. So then I took the chance and was like, I got everything set up for the farmer's market. I got accepted into this small Sandy first, and then I took a lot of work, but then I got accepted into the downtown farmer's market.
I can get you lined up too with the Park City one for next year.
Oh,
I know Volker, he owns it. Any of the new ones, you can get in there. You can get in there now if you want to for Thursdays.
Shit,
Wednesdays or
we
Thursdays.
Could chop it up right after this.
Yeah, I'll give you his number.
Talk. Yeah, because I'm looking at getting in some more markets now that I got everything. The ball
he
rolling
owns that Volker Bread Company. He's at like a lot of those venues and stuff. It'd be perfect.
Dude, that's the type of dude I need
and what
to
they
meet.
do too, I up there usually is they'll let you like test it out, so you don't have to pay until you make money, and then that's when you.
Then they just take a little cut or whatever. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, essentially, I got into the downtown market, and then the first one, I was like, okay, it was really nerve wracking the day before. I was like, shit, that's really going on. My mom been helping me with a lot of stuff, my family, because it's just us, doing everything, getting the table set up, and me investing into everything, and then. I went through a really hard time, with my jaw, it got broken, and I couldn't take care of myself, and I couldn't work, and I work as a PRN, so I was just getting no benefits, so I was getting no money, and then just, starting this up. So then we ended up starting a couple weeks actually after the original date of when the market season was going to start. And then, obviously like financial stuff, didn't make a killing on that fight, and then I lost work. I couldn't work. So yeah, it was just a lot that we put into it, a lot of stress, and we made it work to get to that point. And I was like, fuck, here we go, and we're like sitting there. I was like, fuck, I hope I don't have to be like sit there and like tell my mom like, oh, it's not selling because of this, or why, just give it a second, have to keep saying stuff. And
you've just been selling out, huh?
Her being good. But then, that first hour we sold like 9. People were kind of catching on, looking. And I think it was our signs, thank goodness, last second we got a sign put together, and it wasn't even my original design, but that was catching people's eye. But then the second hour, we sold 11, and I was like, to the goal is 15 an hour, to keep on the goal. And after that second hour, we just fucking killed it. We fucking blew up. Mm-hmm. And then the next one, we completely sold out. And then we went to the Sandy market, and that was like, it was a cool milestone there too, because we were right head to head with the acai bowl. Mm-hmm. Shit, we blew them out the.
You tell me, you said we're the captain now.
I was like, I run Salt Lake now.
Yeah.
Those things are so popular in Salt Lake.
Super Moy, holla at your boy.
Well, people, it's a really good thing to catch because people don't know what chamoy is and never heard of it. And then when they have, a lot of it's really not good for you.
Well, that's the fun thing too, is like, even with some of these acai places, eventually you could probably partner in with them.
Yeah,
you have a bigger
exactly.
name, so then you don't have to be the fruit stand. You can be everybody's fruit stand.
Exactly.
And then you have the chamoy for everybody.
Yeah, that's the goal I'm looking into, is kind of introducing that. And just a lot of people don't know about, like, you know, fruit cups, and it's more of like something in the Latin community and stuff.
I love it. Well,
You
I'm
know,
from
so I'm
California,
like,
so that
yeah, you know,
Elote,
yeah, you know
yeah,
what it is. They got one on every
yeah,
corner, but yeah, just not around here. And you know, there is
between
a
that,
couple
the
and stuff,
roses and all that.
all that, yeah, the paleteros and stuff. I grew up
dude,
with all that
elote is
stuff.
my shit. I love it. I was
like
like
that
all
elote?
day, yeah.
Esquite and all that.
Well, now
yeah.
I guess they do the cups, like instead
That's
of just the
esquite.
corn. Yeah.
So the corn on the cob, it's called elote, and then if it's in a cup, it's called esquite.
Esquite. Yeah, that was like. I was like, I see that now, and I'm like, it's just not
That's
the
a
same.
lot more. I used to,
I like getting that
feel
shit in my
stuff's
teeth.
A little newer. Yeah, exactly.
Like I remember the extra mayonnaise and just everything, just because it was rolling around the streets that we used to. My nephew's older than me, but yeah, he lived in the ghetto. I was always there all the damn time, you know. So, but yeah, every day you hear ding 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 ding.
Yeah, you
trying to
hear that
figure out how
little
to get our quarters together.
Exactly. You know, there would be like 3 different carts in my neighborhood where I live. Like a cart with stuff like that, then a cart with frozen popsicles, and then like an actual ice cream truck that would roll around too. So and then have all the superheroes, all the Mexican.
Also there too, we had the little like in the apartment buildings, they had the little like Hispanic like underground like corner markets. So you can go buy like Mexican candy from them.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like
that's so funny you say that. That dude, that literally is my grandpa too.
Yeah,
so that's always why I got that mindset I got.
We go play marbles out front, and then we just go up there, and they're like, how much you got? I got $1. Oh, we'll give you this. Here you go. I used to always get the rosé, the peanut butter. You know, I'm talking about the rosa.
The little, they're kind of like peanut butter.
It's
Got
like
the nuts, you break it down.
yeah.
It's like a powder. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember what they're called right now.
Rosas or rosa or something.
Yeah,
like
those
that.
are my favorite.
Yeah, those, and then the push one. Like I remember, like trying saving up for the push.
Yeah. so to think about how my chamoy tasted, and somebody compared it to that, and I was thinking that, I was like, that's a lot right. Like it tastes a lot like the push pops.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
imagine that push pot, but like
those are my favorite
in like a in a gel form. That's pretty much my product. And that's good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I need to buy some. I'll Venmo you today for some.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're getting everything.
Have you ever tried any?
I don't think I have, man.
We'll have to.
Yeah, well, I'll have to get. I'm gonna put you guys on.
Yeah,
I should have brought
dude.
some with me. I got some.
Do you like? Have you ever had like chili lime?
You know
anything?
what chamoy is?
Is it just the fruit cups with like the spices and stuff? And is that?
Well, that's
kinda
what
it
I
is?
sell at the market, but the company in general, it's chamoy.
It's a sauce that goes
like
on.
a
Gotcha.
Mexican sauce or Mexican paste, and it goes like on.
I think goes
a lot on candy,
I think I've
but-
seen you because we go every Saturday to
You probably have
the
seen
thing
us.
downtown. Yeah. So are you gonna be at this next one this Saturday?
Yeah, we'll be here this Saturday,
Sick.
and we're expecting a big day. It's the hottest day of the week. It's gonna be like 100 and 107. It says.
Yeah, bro. We'll come
like
and me and my wife will come check it out, dude.
So I'm like, it's gonna be a busy day. We already know that. So now I'm to the point now. Finally, I've been putting so much into it. Now I can finally start making a little bit, and me and my family can start making a little bit. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm pretty happy about that.
I want to offer you up too. You know, we've always been homies. I want to put a sponsor for you on the podcast. Like, so we'll make sure.
That'd be dope, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that'd be good.
So
Sick, cool, bro.
yeah, so we'll put you on there, and we'll do what we can to like make sure we get the word out there for you. But that's something I just always love to offer up for any of the homies. You know,
Appreciate you, bro. Much love.
So other than the chamoy, and we definitely need to eat some, and it's delicious. It's So what's next for your fight career? Like, what do you?
I mean, the plan is kind of the same, but I mean, we're just kind of seeing now it's a little bit changed, but still kind of similar. So I already had a plan as to move out to Denver after I was done in October when my lease was done. And I was gonna train out in Factory X, you know, and still come here to train every now and then, but like make that my main place instead of like coming out here and training other places or training there. And that was ultimately the goal. And because I haven't been liking the way I've been looking with my striking and stuff. My grappling's been improving, some of my MMA stuff.
I will say though, those fucking body shots you throw, dude. I was watching those clips even today, and I'm like, God, man, that's
dude, that's how I'm like, dude,
that whip,
all the
just
ones
like
I threw
that connection,
dude, they were on
out
point.
of nowhere too.
I was training a lot of those, you know, like cleaning that up, and I knew it was gonna land, but it's just Yeah, I'll tell you more about it in a second because I was just in so much fucking pain. It was,
Dude, after hearing that that's what happened, I was like, that makes so much more sense. But you still going as long as you did. I'm like, fuck, man.
I know everybody at my work, they're just like, you kept fighting, you broke your jaw and you kept fighting. I'm like, to be honest and to be fair, I didn't know the fucking shit was broken. If I would have known it was broken, maybe I would have been like, okay, hold on
You're
a
like,
second.
something don't feel good.
Yeah, because I mean, what were we just talking about?
Your next steps for
Oh
fighting.
yeah, okay. So I'll get into that fight in a second. So yeah, my next steps. Anyways, yeah. So
Denver, you were talking about
Denver.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way I was looking. My cousin lives out in Denver. He's in the UFC. He's been in the top 10 for like the last 5 years. He slipped up and lost to an undefeated guy who's coming up, but he'll be back in the top 15 here soon. But he's like one of the main guys over at that gym. But there's just a lot of people and a lot of good people. And me and the coach kicked it off. I pretty much went down there to see if we would. We kicked it off pretty well. I think he's a good guy. I like the way he runs stuff. I like the way he's stern. And I like that he's a man of faith.
Even higher elevation too.
Yeah, and it's even higher elevation.
Yeah.
The only other place that could be higher elevation. So, and I was really excited to move out there, and I still. Potentially, it's still, the goal to move out there. It might just be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I mean, with this, like my goal with this company too is really to take over the Rocky Mountain area first. So I want to take over with the chamoy, in which I don't think that'd be too much of a problem, as Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and Idaho for sure. Rocky Mountain area.
Well, and you see these
out.
fruit restaurant, like these little things popping up all over, like they're like little storefronts. So it's a perfect time.
Yeah, it's a perfect time because they're popping up. I want mine to be the most popular, but then all these other guys, like we've seen some dude on the side of the road. And once I get everything like legally straightened out to where I can start offering to sell it in the bottles, then that's what ultimately the goal. I'm gonna go to the stands and be like, hey, let's try this. This will probably help your company come up, and then get my name out that way. So, I think it's inevitable that we're growing because we're already growing right now so quick, and people are just asking for it so much, and we literally just started like a couple months ago.
Selling out. That's all you need to do, man. Next thing you know, you have a storefront. And
exactly. So that's why
that distribution's so smart to you're like, here, you guys sell it for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here, you guys sell it for me. And like ultimately that's my goal, is to have a company to where like people are, obviously working for me and money's working for itself, and I wanted to have a company where I could give other people opportunity, and
it's smart to have the backup plan
ways.
too, just in case too.
Yeah, exactly. Just in case, and fighting pays, but even then, you see the highest level guys, these rich ass dudes, the more money you make, the more money you spend. So if you don't have something consistent to hold you for the rest of your life, it's just like
something else to put your dedication into.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be fucking 40 years old trying to fucking fight somebody or something.
Bare knuckle in the backyard, just having fucking crash outs. Unfortunately, like some of the pros right now, that when they go to retire, then
exactly,
they don't have anything to
fall back on. They got their fucking bodies through the ringer. They tried to like push through and come back, and then they get fucking hurt really bad. And then after that it's like, all right, they got nothing else to look forward to. They got no skill in anything. At least me, I got sales, which, fortunately for me, that's, entrepreneurs probably make more money than anybody in the world. So
100%. Plus that Hispanic grind.
I got that Hispanic grind in me.
That grit.
I got that Hispanic grind mixed with like the small town grind. I'm from small town, and I grew up in Vernal, but even where I'm from in Greenville, it's like small town grind. Everybody works the same thing. We all work leather or construction. And it's fucking hot out there, but it's long hours. My whole family, we do a lot of trucking too. My whole family, they're truckers. My big brother, my uncles, my cousins, and they like when I was in Texas the last time visiting, I got really motivated because my uncle, he did a 24-hour shift. He went home, he took a shower, took like a 20-minute nap, and then went right back to go back on the road. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, damn, I got to start stepping it up. So then I started working like 16-hour shifts. Yeah, exactly. It's a different type of hustle. These guys are grinding. But yeah, my uncles and stuff, the way they work, it's just crazy. The hours.
Wild.
So now I wanted to prove to myself. So where I also work at the hospital. I'm a security guard there. But yeah, I started doing like doubles, and I wanted to do a 24-hour so I could say that I did it. But like I started work one. I got halfway in. They're like, yeah, you can't. It's not legal. You can't do this shit. So you got to clock out right now. I was like, all right, cool. All right, damn it. I tried. I was willing.
Yeah.
So, I get if I get
the
a
one
really
eye
good
open.
I'm like, yeah, I'm down. I got you.
Yeah. I'm secure in the premises.
Exactly, so.
No, there's a reason why they have the laws there. For
Yeah,
people.
there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Some people, they just keep working. I'm one of those people. I just keep on working.
Yeah, find a different way to grind, hustle, and that's just a different thing. It's not for everybody.
Exactly, and having a job that you love is like a little different too. Because I love working security at the hospital and like helping sick people and people that actually need help and could use it. So. When I'm working those hours, it's really like I'm chilling there with my friends. And when I get called to work, like we have a code or a call, it's really like I want to do that. I want to work. I want to help. I want to like be the one to even everything out. And I always been that way. My friends always like fighting. I'm always the one in the middle, like breaking stuff down and holding it. And it's the same way in the hospital. And people can just like feel me when I walk in. These guys and stuff that are like super hard, gangster, or like causing trouble. Like they can just feel my demeanor and they know that I'm not scared. And like I talk to them a certain way, and I always am able to keep things cordial to this point. Hopefully I keep that way. Not have anything crazy happen, but yeah, I'm really good at leveling people out and de-escalating.
Well, because you know what happens next, so you don't have to like.
And I'm ready for. I'm excited for what happens next. I'm like, if you really want to get to that,
sure? Are you sure you want this?
I'm like, I don't have to hesitate, So like, do what you want to do, because then what's gonna happen next is,
Yeah, they see the homie over there stretching a little bit. You're like, all right.
That's how I am too. People, the nurses and stuff are always looking at me like, well, because I do that. I pop my knuckles, I go in there, pop my neck, do a little stretch, and like go in all stern.
You're like, is that motherfucking shadow boxing back there? You're like,
oh, they're warming.
I don't know if I want to mess with that guy. He's just working. You're talking to people, working on the head movement.
One time I had like two people in there arguing, and like pretty big thugged out dudes, and I. Even them out, de-escalated it, and they're like, damn, you don't play. I was like, yeah. They're like, you weren't scared? I was like, nah, hell no.
Hell no.
Plus
they got a long 30 seconds, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I got my homeboys, too.
Yeah.
We got
and
they
ain't in here because they're healthy.
Exactly. They're not here because they're healthy, so... security, it's almost like I always having not really a gang, but like a team, It's like I make one call, I'm going to have like 4 or 5 guys, and, some of the guys I work with are pretty big. And we're not like down to fight because we're hospital security, so we're not like beating the shit out of people. No. But like, I mean, if you hit one, if I see somebody get one of my partners get hit, shit, it might be a little different.
Back mag light.
Yeah, like if one of my guys get hit, or if I got hit, especially right now, they're really protecting me, and they're like, everybody is really conscious of me because of my mouth. They know I'm willing to like help and stuff, but I love my job. They're taking shifts for me.
People are trying to get street cred with you because you're a brother. I got Julian, hold on. Let me get over there.
I mean, it's good whenever I'm better, I always got their back. I got everybody's back, People know that about me. It's
they're like the students, though. They were like, oh, we got to get over there for Sensei fucking Julian.
Exactly. I mean, I got my students, too. That's the other thing. My students they all know how to fight, train them. They're all down. So when I go out nowadays, I don't really go out without my students because those guys are like loyal to me. I'm loyal to them, and they're also watching after me. So like, I got guys that are like, they're little goofballs and fucking dumbasses and shit, but we all are. But they're like down and they know how to fucking fight.
Savages,
so it's like these fools would really hurt you,
Yeah.
And they're like a bunch of little ones too. I got bunch of little 35ers that I hang out with, but they're all really fucking strong. They're not just regular 35ers. No. They're all strong professionals, and the amateurs are really tough at the pit. And I got a little gym or a little team over at my other gym at the UCTC, and I mean, I got a couple fighters over there that are pretty tough and coming out.
Hell yeah.
I got one that's really tough.
They're just getting better and better too now because the levels they have all of you guys plus everything else. They don't have to like.
Exactly.
Figure out a gym and find, like now they have so much to train through. This episode of Just in Our Mind is brought to you by Optimum Regen Peptides. If you're involved in laboratory research and want a company that takes quality, transparency, and consistency seriously, check out Optimum Regen Peptides. They provide research-grade peptides and compounds that are third-party lab tested, compounded in the USA, and backed by batch level COAs so researchers can verify purity and identity. Their catalog includes categories like metabolic research, recovery and repair research, cognitive research, and overall health research, and Talos. Optimum Regen Peptides is built around real testing, real people, and real standards. All products are strictly for laboratory research only. They are not for human or animal consumption and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Visit OptimumRegenPeptides.com and tell them that you heard about them on Just in Our Minds podcast. And the promo code is Sloan10.
Look right here. Watch this. Look, this little jab. Boom. That was it. And then it's like, see those two? Like, I thought it might have been the kick, but no, I blocked that and I like got up and reacted on it. Because I remember when it hit me, I was like, oh shit. Because like it was like slow motion, it hit me. And then it just like kind of kept going. And, like,
well, it's hard too because you're coming in.
Yeah,
like
and I was coming in with
that's a hard combination.
So then, I mean, I can't say that it wasn't my skill mistake because it was, because I was working on being a lot more patient and stuff. But then at the same time, that's why I needed to go out to Denver to like find the balance of that, because I was like a more of aggressive fighter, but then I'm patient.
That was a big distance to cover too.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't work my way in. I was just kind of going, and dude, I just felt like I'd get there.
I felt like that was homie's best fight I've ever seen. Like,
yeah,
I knew he was good, and I like he's a skilled, but I was like, Jesus, fuck, man. It was just like, you know, when people are like, it was his night.
I know, like, as you watch that dude, and I knew he was gonna look better because as you watch every fight, he literally looks like gets better, and he's like
he's so calm too. He has a good. Like, he's like you. He's very controlled in there.
He's got a good attitude. He's controlled, and he's like
young
he
too,
likes
right?
to. I mean, he's
Younger.
older than me.
Oh,
he was
okay.
30, so yeah, he was a year older than me. It looked like he was young because he's all small, but he kind of got genetics like I do. Like I think I'm like 4 years behind as far as genetics. But
that's good. Keep it up. Like, yeah, why not? Why not look younger?
Keep that mindset too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but yeah, he is a year older than me, but he gets better every fight, and like that's exactly what I expected. I was like, everything that happened in the fight was exactly what I expected. I knew he was going to look better than everyone expected in the first round because he wasn't cutting weight. He was going to be strong. He was going to be fast at first, but I knew he was going to slow down hard. And the way that he punches, like nice and calm at that pace, those are the type of dudes that I'm really able to like fucking tear up.
Yeah, I felt his angles too. Like he was adjusting well to what you were throwing. I was like, damn, because you look good. You always look good, but like,
well, so if you want the full breakdown of what happened, it was like,
yes.
So we started out right, and I was like super nervous, and like in my head, I had this fucking nerve and like this like anxiety I couldn't shake, and like so I knew something was like. I felt like something crazy was going to happen already, you know? But I was like, nah, I'm going to get in the fight, and this dude doesn't hit nearly as hard as anybody I've ever fought. So I'm like nervous, but as soon as I make contact with people, like I'm good to go. Mm-hmm. So as soon as he hits me, I'm going to see that I can handle it, and I can keep pushing, and I can like break him from there, and we're going to have a great fight. He's going to be tough in the first round. The second round, I'm going to start to break him down. But it was like, fuck, that first hit was exactly the opposite. It was like, not only that I couldn't take it, it was worse than I could ever imagine. It was like he hit me clean, you know, and usually I'm like, okay, I take that. Okay, let's go. You know, I've had that multiple times. Pretty much that's how it goes. But then that hit was just like, when he hit me, I felt it hit, but then it just kind of like kept going with it. And it was like a pressure, like almost an explosion in my face. And it was like slow motion when I hit the ground. And then when I come up, I seen like the other two strikes, and I kind of like avoided them a little bit. But then I remember looking up, I was looking right at him, and I just felt this line, like this complete heat line, come right down my face to the back of my neck right here. I felt like I was a ball of heat, and it was just fucking ringing right here. And I was like, fuck. I was looking at him so clear. I remember that moment so clear. I was like, fuck. I got to go 3 rounds with this. And then I was just like, I think you can kind of see in the video too. I was like, all right, let's go. I got this. Mm-hmm. And then it was just like the whole time, dude, it was so hot. And like, it's just going up behind my ear, and it hurt so fucking bad.
Because that's where the fracture was, right?
It was right here. Yeah. So when he hit me, and I got down, I got back up. I felt my tooth pushing into my tongue, and I tasted blood. So in my head, I thought my tooth had got knocked loose. And I was like, fuck, that hurts like a bitch, but it's all right. You know, it's just a tooth, and that shit happens to people. And then as we were going in the first round too, I remember I was like, he was hitting me with some shots, and some that I was blocking, some little ones. But in my head, I thought he was like blasting me. Like there was one that I blocked and it fucking hurt so bad that I was just like, I shook my head no. And I usually do that to show people when they land a big shot. And I was like, that was not a big shot that he landed. But in that moment, I was like the most conscious of it. And it felt like it.
Because those nerves and everything just.
And it was just like, and then after that, like after those moments of me, like adrenaline, it was just like, what in between, I was standing there, it hurts so fucking bad. I was just like in so much pain. And then like I kept looking up at the clock because in my head, I was like, okay, I just need a reset. You know, I just need to sit down, reset, and put some ice on something, and then we'll be good to go. So like, he did like a video where he commentated on the fight and stuff, and just the things that he was thinking is not what happened at all. You know, he was like, oh, he's looking at the clock, so I knew he was tired. I was nowhere close to tired at all. I was in extremely good shape. I was looking at the clock because I was like, fuck, I need this round to be over. My fucking face hurts so fucking bad.
And
dude.
it doesn't get better. I feel like as the progressive, because the adrenaline dumps.
Exactly. So that's what I mean. It was a misconception in my head. I was like, I just need a second to reset. And like in my head, I thought it was going to get better after that round and I'd get rolling. But it did not. It only got completely
because you
opposite.
didn't know. You just thought you had a tooth that got
Yeah,
fucked
I
up.
thought exactly. I just had like a little tooth.
That shifting too, I hear sometimes. Like if you get, like you could feel the...
Dude,
Did you feel the movement?
Fucking, there was one time where we were like getting it and we were like going and like I felt like that, like the vibration in the move, the little like clunk, you know, like something moves in your body. I felt that in my jaw. I was like, fuck.
And like especially you probably biting down on my mouthpiece and like.
And it's, like I remember it so clearly, you know. Then after that first round, I was like sitting there. I was able to kind of like let the pain off. The adrenaline was dumping the ice and everything, and I was like, okay, it's like slightly there, but it was like maybe like a 3. And then as we started going, you know, I started moving and I was like kind of like it stayed there, like maybe came up to like a 4 as we were going, but I was like, that's doable, you know. I was moving fresh and I was moving good. And then we were like going and I was like, my mouth was open, but I was moving fresh. I was moving really good. It was like starting to like come up. Like I said, it was like a 4. And then as it got to like a 5 and my mouth was hurting more, but I was still flowing good and I was like kind of in the zone. And then it was a good thing that he did. I stepped in again like a fucking idiot from a distance. He like let in with the right hand, an overhand, and it wasn't a big one either, but it hit me with my mouth was open, and it just kind of the same thing with that one. It must have been a great angle, and it like hit me, and it shifted my like I felt something wrong, and then I got up, or he didn't drop me with, but I kind of like buckled because like it fucking hurt. It felt like something exploded in my fucking face again, and then like I moved with it, and then the pain started going down like my body and my neck. And then he hit me with like a little combo, not big punches at all. And he didn't even know that he fucking hurt me. But at that point, then he hit me with like 3 more a little combo. And at that point, I thought he was gonna finish me. I was like, fuck, I'm in so much trouble. And when you watch it in the video, I can at least pride myself down fucking tough as shit. You cannot tell
dude,
if you didn't know. In my head, I was screaming and yelling and was looking for like a fucking panic button and looking for something, looking at my coaches, looking at the ref. But it deeply, like everything was going so much, and I was like, it's just me in here. I'm all right.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, I was like, fuck. So then I took him down, and I took him down easy. And when I got on top, then people really knew what was going on, because then as I was like putting it aside, it fucking hurt to put my face on him too. And I was like, God damn. And then I like spit out a little bit, and then blood just started gushing out. And I was like, I was gonna, like how I pass and how I grapple a lot, how I've been lately, is I've been controlling people's hips and like use my head and my face to be top heavy with my shoulder, and then I pass from the side and have submissions that I do from there, specifically from the when I put people in a half. But I wasn't able to grind my face on it. It fucking hurt. So then I stood up. When I stood up, blood just fucking gushed out, and I was like, fuck. Yeah. You know, and then I mean, you can see in the video, I had the same body language that when I was covered in blood as right before. So like nobody knew what was going on, and there was like no way to tell because I'm a tough motherfucker.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. When I heard that, I was like, that makes way more sense. But holy shit!
So then after we got up, dude, and I was like full of blood, and I seen all that shit, it felt like a lightning bolt was fucking coming from my jaw to my ear to the back of my knee. All my lower side of my lower back for some reason was all hurting, like the whole right side of my body, all the way to my knee. I could feel it like clearly in the back of my leg. Everything was just straining. I think that whole side was just like going and like holding itself strong, you know, because this was breaking down right here. And then at that point too, when I stood up, I tried to like go after him when he went to stand up, and it felt like I had like I had a vest or something on me and somebody was pulling me back. You know, my body was really pulling me back, and I think my body was going into shock then because I started to lose a lot of blood, and it was at that point it was really fucking broken. And then just all the fucking little shots that he was hitting me with, I wasn't able to like, get hit or like feel those scraping and like fire back. So even in the first round, there was some that like I remember he hit me with one very clearly right here and it scraped and it felt like my jaw went down like that. So like I just couldn't compete because like I was throwing the offense was good, but my body like in the heat of the moment of us just
it was like
competing
beyond
with each
survival
other,
mode.
it was just my body was just shutting down, you know. So I watched back and I'm like, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. But in the moments, I really tried.
You remember the pain, and I can imagine your ears are
know,
ringing, you're fucking
that shit was hurting so bad, and it's just like, on top of the fact that like before I went out to the fight, I'm like, damn, this doesn't sound fun, you know. I don't really like fighting in front of my family and friends no more. I was ready to be out of town, my next fight out of there. And then so on top of that fact, I already had that in my head. So there was a moment where I was just like, fuck everybody. I remember looking up and just kind of seeing everyone in the crowds. No, I just seen nobody specific, but it just felt like that fishbowl feeling. And I'm like, fuck, everybody's like, I'm in this fucking pain and every's watching. God damn.
On top of that, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna disappoint. That was always something that I feel like people don't like. That's another fan question is like what are some of the hardest things being in there? It's like I feel like it's like disappointing the people that show up for yourself and for other people.
Nah, I don't really give a shit what nobody thinks, to be honest. But it's more for me, like to disappoint myself. You know, I've had more moments not. So every time I have been disappointed, it's always like a shocker, you know. But that was the first one where I was like, I was in some real pain, you know, because the other two pro losses, they were both ones where the one in PFL, you know, you could hardly say I was winning. It was neck and neck, and then some crazy thing happened. Then the one where I fought here, main event, I fought a dude he's a risen fighter now. He's doing really well. But I mean, he was from the same gym, and I was trying to prove a point. You know, I was cleaning him up really good.
Were they from Vegas?
Yeah, they're both from Extreme Tour. And then he was just a smart fighter and experienced himself. And then he just caught me with the big ass overhand over the top. And it didn't like knock me out, but it rocked me and just caused all sorts of problems. And then he just escalated perfectly to get a crazy submission. So the times that I lost, it was just like happened, you know, in a crazy way. So, you know, that's why I wasn't down too much about that. But then that one was just like, I mean, even this one is the same way. It's just like, damn, it sucks. Like I got beat up, but like I know why everything happened like that. And in reality, none of it should have happened really. As soon as I felt that, I should have been like, hold the fuck on, time out. You know, and looked at the ref, and he probably would have been like, all right, yeah, your fucking jaw is sideways.
Yeah,
you can't keep fighting.
Inside your mouth, yeah.
Yeah, and like it was so bad, dude, taking all the little punches because the people are like, dude, what? And even in, like I said, his commentary, he's like, I don't know which one broke his jaw. I'm like, it's because nobody knew it was that fucking jab at first. You know, I walked into a fucking stiff ass jab, and it must have been the weird perfect angle. You know, I think I cut a lot of weight for that fight that I wasn't expecting to cut all last second. So, you know, I definitely didn't feel strong. I felt weak going out in the back as I was warming up. Not to make excuses, because I mean, I felt like shit pretty much every time I fought, but this one was obviously a little bit more. But like I was doing one of my go-to submissions, and I went to hit it on my friend, and then my arms were fucking tired. So then I didn't even finish it, and I was just like, when I got up, my arms were pumping, and I was like, I gotta save those things for the fight. So then I went back to moving light again, and I was like, something is off. But all respect to my competitor, to Haval and everything. But I mean, he should take pride to this, because in the back I was like, so much shit is wrong, but I'll be all right for this dude. Yeah. You know, and my coach in Denver, he told me too not to take the fight. He's like, if you want to work with me, it's going to take at least 3 or 4 months to get on the same page, and this isn't going to do anything for you. You're going to look the same way. And I was just like, I got the skill to beat this guy already. So I'll beat this guy, get some credit, get some money, and then we'll move on, and I'll come out here, and you can do what you need to do with my with the skills that I have. And then like an idiot, you know, I like I said, I took the fight when he told me I probably shouldn't, to not just tell them no. And I mean, I have other people in my ear, other people want me to take the fight for other reasons or whatever. And obviously the promotion wanted me to fight too. But yeah, so I should have not took the fight, and I did. But yeah, I can't remember what I was getting to with that. But
Yeah, you should have listened. That's
yeah.
where I think you were getting at with that one.
Yeah, I should have listened a little better. So now, I mean, I learned from that.
The reason I grabbed my phone, we're going to get into some of these other fan questions.
Oh, and let me tell you too what happened when I got to the hospital as well. So how bad it was, because like I said, it wasn't just one big break. That shit was dug in there. I got into the hospital. My one coworker recognized me. The other one didn't, because my hair was different. But the nurse was telling me my tooth was gone. I was like, what? And I was like, oh, I knew he knocked my tooth out, you know? So I was like, that partially been part of the pain, you know? And she was like, it's kind of serious. If you swallowed it, it's all right. But if you inhaled it, we got to go out this a different way. It's kind of serious. Doctor comes in and he looks at it, evaluates it. He's like, nope, it's there. Your tooth... your tooth is there. Your jaw's just moved so much that it's pushed back. Ugh. So that's what I mean. It wasn't just like, that doesn't happen with one punch. That's just multiple. And again, that's why I felt like my tooth got pushed like this, but it was really, you can just think about it. My jaw was
it was behind.
That motherfucker was like, behind pushing and just kept pushing.
It reminds me of what happened to, what Hamzat did to Bobby Knuckles. Like his jaw getting broken there. Oh, yeah, like you can see that tooth. Yeah, I've seen some of those jaw breaks. That's gnarly.
It was exactly like that.
Yeah.
But then just imagine that, and then just somebody keep like pattering at it, picking at it. And he doesn't hit super hard, but he was like fully on hitting. You know, it's a fight, so his intentions was to hurt and to break.
And that's right where his right hand was landing too.
Yeah, so. And his jab, was just going right on that side. I was blocking well right here. You know, I feel like the only one he got me on that side was that weird overhand, and he caught me on. My mouth was open too. So like people, they were like, oh yeah, his mouth's open. He's tired. He's looking at the clock. Like my mouth's open because it fucking hurts. And it as well, that's why I'm looking at the clock, because I need this round to be over so I can sit down and catch my breath.
Yeah, just like having like 4 cavities in one area.
And then somebody is like getting them and like moving your teeth and ripping them and shit. You know, like when they stopped it too. Like I know Dave, you know, he's my friend and everything, so he cares about me. So I'm like really blessed that he did stop it. But after he stopped, I'm like, what the fuck you stopping to fight for? It's like, we're good. I'm like, I'm still fighting. I'm still here. He didn't knock me out. And he's like, dude, something's wrong with you. And then when I see my boy, Dr. Murdoch, he's like, oh yeah, something's wrong. And then we went in the back and he's like, it's broken. He's like, it's not just a little broken. He's like, you need to go to the ER right now. He's like, if you don't drive to the ER right now, we're going to need to get you an EMS to take you. And I was like, all right, I'll go. And then, my coach took me, and it was just, like I said, they thought the tooth was gone. It was fucking gnarly.
Yeah, it's wild to get in there. Oh, it's just back here. Never mind, you have it.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And all sorts of crazy things happened at the hospital, too, while I was there, so...
It's just another one for the books.
Yeah, another one for the books. They almost had to call code green on me, apparently, because I tried to like stand up after getting out of the anesthesia.
Oh no!
And I was like, hold on. I kind of remember slightly because I was like I was like, wait, hold on, and I was. Apparently, I thought in my head I was just like, wait, hold on, but I was like ripping them off and shit, and they like had to call people out, and I was like, fuck.
Call your homies over there.
Call my homeboys, yeah. Man, I hope I don't get fired for this. they were like, yeah, no, we'll just leave it alone. This is our boy, you know.
Yeah, it's one thing you're under anesthesia. That's the different thing.
They had the retired cop, my homeboy Frank, watching me. It was just I remember seeing him too, because I tried to get up and he's like, Frank, calm down, dude, chill out, I'm good.
So this kind of plays into this. This is a good question. It says, what scares you more, losing or never reaching your full potential?
So I guess that has changed over time, because I've never been good at losing. I don't think you should get used to it and like it, you know, and be a good loser, but before that's always what scared me, you know, and that's kind of what I was gonna say too on the fight, that it was also what I was scared, you know. It's like I don't like to lose, especially a fight, you know. Ever since when I was a little kid, you know, even my big cousin, he'd be like make me fight people, and like hearing about me fighting, there's like one time there's this kid that wanted to fight me in the neighborhood, and I was telling him I was gonna fight him. He's like, you better win. If not, I'm gonna my dad's gonna pick you up, and my daddy's gonna drive around the neighborhood, and we're gonna find him. You're gonna have to run it again. It's like, all right. So
my family was like that too.
Yeah,
we're gonna fuck you up if you don't win. What?
So it used to be like that. Now I've lost, you know, 3, and I have to say that I've tasted defeat, in my head too. If you ask me, they were like flukes and all this crazy stuff. But the guys that beat me were all really good, and they all did it in a skillful way, and it wasn't lucky. It was skill that really did it. So I've learned to accept my mistakes and loss is a part of life. So what was the other one? Scarier to lose or to not reach the full potential.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. And now being more clear and being more mature, it's not reaching my full potential. And that's always something that scares me. And it just depends on how you define the full potential, And I think we kind of scurried off the subject of when you were asking me what is that next after this, and I'm gonna grapple for a bit. It's probably going to be at least a year before I can fight again.
Probably save just to get the strength back up in your jaw.
Really strong. Everything's more than secure.
Were your hands good for this one? Did you feel pretty strong?
Yeah. So I broke the hand in the fight before. That's the other thing. Take a break. Like, this shit is fucking costing me. I had a fight where I 30-26 this guy, and I didn't fucking get touched. I literally had no bruises on my face or on my feet or nothing, which is crazy. But then I come out with a broken hand. I have to fucking deal with that in life and work and everything else and training and all that. So, when it comes to reaching the full potential, it's just the way you look at it. Everything that I've kind of like thought of in my life is kind of happening. And with the fights, coming up, I was always like, if I lose one, I'm done. So again, losing was the most important thing to me. I never wanted to lose, and specifically MMA. And other things I could lose and be all right, but MMA was like, I thought, in my head still, I had the potential to be the best in the world, and thought that's what I was meant for.
This episode of Just in Our Minds is proudly sponsored by ASA Formula. We talk a lot on this podcast about getting back to fundamentals, whether it's fitness, nutrition, or how to take care of our bodies. That's exactly what ASA Formula believes when it comes to skincare. Their products are handcrafted in Utah using a nutrient-rich tallow base and simple natural ingredients designed to nourish and hydrate your skin. No unnecessary fillers, just thoughtful crafted formulas inspired by time-tested traditions and made with quality in mind. If you're looking for skincare that embraces a more natural approach, check out ASA Formula and see why so many people are making the switch. Thanks again to ASA Formula for supporting Just in Our Minds since the beginning. That's asaformula.com. Use promo code JUSTIN10.
Everything thus far, I said if I lost a fight within my first 5 fights, I would quit fighting, because there's other things that I could do in my life. And I'm really good at sales, and fighting is fucking hard. And being there in the air the whole time, I can't say there's been a time too where I'm having fun, but it's usually fucking scary the whole time. And you're just trying to get the fight done and get it done and get out, because we were not really searching. Some crazy bastards like Justin Gaethje and stuff really love it and love to be in there getting it, and like probably tops of them, they should keep fighting. But for me, just the glory that comes with winning, that was the most important thing to me. And
just I guess just that overcoming the fear, because it like going in there, and I love how vulnerable you are, because some people don't. You could see the fear in their eyes when they get in there, but they act like I'm not scared of anything. I was like, dude, that's okay.
Yeah,
like even Jeremy Horn, like he's like, dude, that shit's scary as fuck, and he has 170 170 fights. It's
anybody who says they're not scared, is lying. Even like in prison, people have been in prison, like all these like hood ass fucking dudes that you see on like the street beefs and like all that other stuff, the boxing matches on YouTube. When they go up, they're these hard ass looking dudes, and you ask them if they're nervous or scared, and they always say, yeah, they are, but they're down.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You can be scared, and that's what I teach all my students nowadays and stuff, Like I have one kid that's always fucking crying. I'm like, dude, you can cry anytime in life, that's just how it is. Things are hard. But you don't have to do it in front of all these people. You don't have to do it in front of your parents. I was like, why don't you act like you stubbed your toe or like something's wrong, walk away and like brush it out in the corner and cry in the corner, wipe your face off, act like nothing happened. Because it's how it is. We're men. We're vulnerable, but we're also men where people are looking up to us, expect things. So can't be fucking crying in front of people. So at times I think the parents are going to get mad because their kids will cry or start something to happen. And I'd be like, get up. I don't care. Keep going. Like, if you're going to cry, get off the mat or start doing burpees. And then they're just so confused about it. And what do you know? The cry usually stops and they usually get back to work.
Yeah.
You know?
You need that tough love because you're going to love them, but they need it because
Yeah.
they ain't getting it elsewhere.
I mean,
On
that's
that
all I
level.
knew growing up, fuck
Yeah,
tough
no,
love.
100%. Like, or with my family, my dad used to say, I didn't feel a thing. Do it again. You know, like that. And then, so here's another one that kind of leads into this is, what's the hardest mental battle that you've ever fought outside of the cage?
Outside of the cage?
Mm-hmm.
Mental battle? I mean, if you're a guy coming up, I mean, it's the girls.
Yeah, the
fucking
party and
girlfriend. Not the partying and stuff. That part's easy, but having relationships and stuff, that part's hard. But
being that dedicated to something in your life too, like especially with women, if they don't train, they don't understand. I'm sure that's just brutal.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time where I went like 5 years without fighting. I had a girlfriend and I slipped up when I lost to John. It was the first time I lost in like 5 years. Or no, since I lost to Mitch, I guess it was like 2 years. But
Felt like
I went 7 years without losing. I got a girlfriend. I lost again. So it's definitely whatever you say that's like that can mentally mess people up, make them or break them. And I mean, that's just one of the like hardest battles I've had is just like relationship stuff.
100%. Yeah,
family stuff too. Like right now, I'm technically going through like the hardest time in my life, at this very moment. But I like I said, I'll hold it together. I don't cry in front of people. I don't cry to people. People want to hear, I'll tell them. But I just keep to myself, keep it strong. But it's also like the best time in my life because I'm starting a company, and it's going really well.
Isn't it interesting if like how the things you think are going to happen open up the doors for the new thing? You know what I mean? Like it's like as long as you're there to accept it and do the work.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just what was the question again? Sorry, I lost track of it.
What was the hardest thing that you've experienced outside of the gym, basically?
Oh, okay. That
or the hardest mental block.
The hardest mental block. Oh, then yeah, probably women is the hardest mental block. And let's see. I mean, being able to make money, that's a pretty mental thing too.
Yeah.
Not being able to make money and it's a mental thing. Obviously, every day thinking if I should go to school or do this, but I'm not that type of person. I don't never wanted to work for nobody. I always had that mindset, and I always see my uncles and stuff doing things, and my friends around you.
Yeah,
you're good. What do you want to say? You're a great mentor in a sense, and somebody I look up to. Like, I mean, you always talk about shit and you get shit done.
I try, man.
you know who is somebody who sticks out to me like that too? I'll give a shout out. And it's low key too. Is my friend MG? My brother Marco, his girl, and she was my former boss at Rise. But like, yeah, she has a lot of success and a lot of things she did. But like, she started that gym and stuff, and like, I took a lot of inspiration for her because like when I would work for her, she would always be talking about shit, and everything she would talk about, she would fucking do and get done. And I never seen her without like having something else like new. Like the gym was never just like basic. Like there'd be boom, new bag added to the gym, new this shit be shifted around. There's a cool mural on the wall. We're doing this different now. And then she's like, oh, I got this program with this, and these guys are giving us this free stuff. Or I got this discount with this, but you got to go here. And she always was just making shit happen and doing little things. And I was like, I respect that hustle and I see that. And, it's like she's a female doing that, not to say nothing about women, but I'm like, yeah, a lot of people would be like,
on top of that, in the MMA and boxing community, which is even harder.
Yeah, and the boxing community is even harder to get accepted into than the MMA. It took a long time for me to get accepted in there, but I just kept winning around here locally.
Yeah. And to be a gym owner and a coach as a female, that's just like a whole different battle.
Like, she's just fucking grinding, and I always saw that as I was like growing up as a young adult, because I was working for her when I was like 21 to like, I don't know, 24, something like that. So just my younger 20s seeing that, and my coach as well, him always talking about having a gym before, he's like fucking has a gym, and we just keep moving into a bigger facility and making shit happen and stuff. So, I always seen that MG was a big inspiration that I seen. But yeah, just people that I hang around.
100%, dude. I appreciate you too. I feel likewise. Like you're always getting after it. You're putting in the work. So you inspire me as well.
Thank you, man.
Dude, yeah, it's fun.
One thing I pride myself was is trying to do stuff like that. You know, I keep that mindset. You know, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. You know, it's kind of like with this company, with the fighting.
Being your undercover nutritionist.
You are.
These random text messages.
I get these random texts. I just think of something in my head. I hit this.
Yeah,
dude
like,
up,
hey, what do you think about this? Don't do that. All right, what do you think? What would you do?
You know, do for this or what do you think about that? Should I try this? Yeah.
This is so this next one's really fun too. I like this one. I think this is a good one for fighters. It's what rule in MMA would you like to change if you could tomorrow?
What rule in MMA?
If you could change a rule, what rule would you change?
I would change the. I'd make heel hooks illegal in MMA.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's what I would do.
Maybe add soccer kicks.
Yeah, if there could be soccer kicks, when I was especially coming up as an amateur, there were so many times where I would get people down, I would soccer kick their ass, and they always stand up. But I was really good at that. And like, just like I said, when I say I'm going to do things, I do it. A lot of guys are like, imagine things they're going to do in the fights, and they don't do them. And that was like one of them. I always said I was going to soccer kick people, and then I had the opportunity. I always was doing it and shit like that.
So yours would be taking heel hooks out.
Yeah, probably taking heel hooks out. Yeah.
And those fucking oblique kicks are pretty brutal too. Jesus.
Yeah, I know those things are rough, but I don't know. I'm pretty good at avoiding those. Like I said, I've been to gyms around the country and motherfuckers do shit like that, you know.
And then one of the final fan questions for this is like, who don't you think in the amateur or pros around here, Utah in general, that doesn't get enough respect as a fighter?
Amateur or pro. I mean, my boy Clay, that's probably the top one that stands out. This motherfucker was in the PFL fucking finals, fighting for a legitimate world championship, which would put him in like the Utah history books. I remember him being in the back at Fierce, and he's just walking through, and like he was like walking through everything, and they were like talking about somebody for doing other things, and like there was no recognition. This dude in like 2 weeks, he was gonna fight for a world title in the PFL, a fucking $1 million. He was fighting for $1 million, you know, and it takes lifetime to do that. And he was getting ready to do that, and there's no recognition of it. I'm like, this motherfucker's in the building. He's standing right beside me. I'm like, nobody gonna say shit, or you know, and. Like, and when I found out he was back here in Utah training, I reached out. Now we're like best friends. We're like brothers, you know. We have a streak on Snapchat. I'll show you right here. It is 789. So
damn,
we talk every single day. We send pictures.
I just seen that video of his wife choking him. He has his hand up.
Yeah, I love his wife. His
rear naked choke.
Cool. So,
yeah, it looks like he has a pretty big family. You can see the picture on the wall.
I would say he's probably the most underrated professional. As far as like local guys coming up, I have a lot of guys that are underrated and stuff. We go amateurs and pro. If I was to say the most underrated pro, that's a toss up now too, because there's two of them. So I would probably say it's Michael, one of my training partners, Michael. But I guess he's starting to get respected.
What's his last name?
Dinjory or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
It's like
shout out to Michael DiGiorno. I'm just kidding.
DiGiorni. He's
DiGiorni?
Like, yeah.
Sorry, Michael. I was just kidding. Like, don't beat me up.
He's from China or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, he's Asian.
Cool.
Or no, it's fine. He's from some country, Mongolia. That's right.
I was like, Jesus. Yeah. Dude,
no, he's from Mongolia.
Have you ever gone to Provo to the Mongolian weeks? They have the Mongolian wrestling there. It's just basically judo. They have it every summer, dude. We should go.
No,
you
yeah,
can
let's go
compete
check
too
it out.
if you ever want to.
Really?
Yeah, you have
Dude.
to wear these like they put these. Oh, you don't have to wear them. There's like a traditional Speedo looking thing, and then they have these like sleeves that looks like a welding hood. But yeah,
crazy.
dude, like high level black belt judo practitioners.
Dude, they're
but yeah,
good.
it's Mongolian wrestling.
He said his uncle is actually an Olympian, a Mongolian judo Olympian.
Yeah,
randomly.
Mongolians and
He
all them.
fucking
They're
knows somebody.
basically sambo wrestling, and they're basically another. They're just Asian Russians.
Exactly, they're Asian Russians in a different style. You know,
Yeah.
I've met a lot of go to gyms and you get that one random like Asian dude that's really good at judo and like you feel their hips and stuff. You know, it's
Yeah, I
that's
think
definitely
it's,
a thing.
I want to say it's in August or September that they do the.
Oh, is it?
it's in
All right,
Provo.
let's go then.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
coming
go.
up. Let's
yeah,
check it out.
dude, I went last year. This year will be fun. Like I'll find out when it is. It's like people come from all over the world. I think last year it wasn't as big because people actually went to Mongolia because of the prices. But yeah, they just a bunch of Mongolians just getting drunk and wrestling and having fun.
Yeah,
And then
that sounds
they have
great
all kinds
time.
of like native food and stuff, so you can go to
Oh,
different
yeah.
areas. So like they have like booths, and then you just go to each one. They'll give
That
you like
Mongolian
native
food.
Dude, it's so good. Yeah, goddamn Mongolian.
You goddamn Mongolian. You already knew what I was referring. You already knew it.
Oh, break down my sheer wall.
Yeah,
That was my favorite thing when he says too. He's like, "I'll be American. I'll use my credit card."
That was funny. But
So-
yeah, I would say Michael, but then there's another one that's underrated. His name's Jordan. Is Speedy. He's
Oh,
well
yeah, yeah.
known around here. He's really good. He's really strong. He just had a rough start, but there was a lot
He
of guys
fought
that
in
did that.
Vegas not too long ago, right?
Yeah, he fought
Yeah.
in Vegas and he did really well. He fought Sean O'Malley's dude with Sean and Sean's head coach cornering him versus Ramsey and Dominico, and fucking finished that guy. So he's really good. It just his first matchup, there was a bunch of stuff that happened. You know, I should have been in his corner. I think mentally that he had a little bit of a block. He started slow and he didn't stick to the game plan that we had been working on. You know, he got a little overzealous and that he didn't realize the other dude wanted to win bad too, you know, and also was a professional and had an amateur career, you know, and then he didn't get that one. Then he fought another dude that I trained with. His name's David Kim. He's my really good friend
Yeah,
too.
David Kim.
And I told him, I was like, you know, David's really good. He's a really good grappler. Like, I'm a lot bigger than him. He gives me a lot of problems, you know, so you got to be ready for
Very
that.
technical too. I've rolled with him plenty
He's
of times.
really technical.
Real
He's a sly little guy. But then Jordan, his grappling is very good too. You know, when I was coming out, getting ready for the PFL, one time he submitted me and fucking pissed me off so bad. And I was
dude,
like,
that
oh,
was-
you got some fucking.
That
you're
was
good.
that was on the same fight card you fought, right? It was David
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Jordan. Yeah, that was a tearjerker for me, or like because I know both guys. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it was, oh yeah, it was, huh? Yeah, so that was a rough night, and then after that, I hear my boy Joel gets knocked out all quick. I'm like,
I just walked away. I just went home.
I'm like, fuck.
My
man.
homie
I
was here
saw-
from California, and he was like, I just walked out. After that, I was like, my heart's broken.
You're
I
like,
gotta
"God
get the fuck
damn
out
it,
of here.
fuck."
Yeah, I was like, I'm done. I walked out. Like I seen Lehigh on the way out, and then we're just like,
But his head's down too. Like, all right, guys, just act like this.
yeah. I was like,
didn't
all right,
happen.
we're packing up.
We're just
My
gonna
buddy
act
was like,
this
oh my gosh,
didn't
because like
happen.
it's even worse. I'm like talking to everybody up. I'm like, dude, this could be such a banger. And I was like,
Dude, everybody was talking my ass up.
well,
dude.
you guys are always killing it. So
You
it's
know,
just
it's
like a
like
rough
they-
night for Utah.
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
like, fuck,
dude.
my heart was broken.
All my coworkers were there. They're like, yeah, dude, all these guys are saying your name. People are asking about us, your shirts. Everybody's talking about you on the internet and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I know, I got a lot of hype. And then fucking I wanted to live up to the shit, but
You
fucking,
still did, dude.
You know, I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
I
like-
fought well. You know, I feel like I
For
you know,
People would have given up. You didn't. You tried to find everything you could. But yeah, at the end when you came across and you tried to get out of there, I was like, oh, it's not his night tonight.
yeah,
Fuck.
I was like, yeah, no.
But it's good and you got the dog in you, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I can like that. That's the way I can relate to it. Is like I look at it like if I was perfect, you know, I wouldn't be able to. How are people gonna relate to me? You know, like when I was younger, I was like, you know, if I don't want to be this perfect dude with perfect grades and does everything, you know, never gets in trouble, how are people gonna look up to me? You know, so when I was younger, I was like, I'm gonna make some mistakes,
Trial
you know,
by fire.
you know, do stuff like that, so I can see what people are going through and people can like relate with me. It's kind of the same way in the fighting. It's like if I was undefeated, perfect, like I wanted to be like someone like Ilya, you know, that's the way I imagined my head. And I was, you know, crazy enough as I got myself to that point. You know, I was 4-0 going into the PFL. Then I fought a guy that was 8-0. And I was like, I can beat. As soon as I saw that video of it, the first time I saw him fight, I was like, I can beat that guy. What the fuck? And then Ramsey's like, you want to fight him in the PFL? No, he's like, you want to fight that guy? I was like, I'll fight him this weekend. And he's like, you want to do it in the PFL? I was like, ooh, that's a little nerve wracking. But yeah, let's do it. And then, yeah, I mean, I imagined myself to that point, but then the whole my life changed instantly with one punch. I was like, damn, you know, how did that happen? How did that happen to me? I've never seen, you know, something like that as a freak thing to happen. Like, how can that happen? And then it happened again, and then again with this jaw, you know. So I'm like, you know, I think, you know, God's telling me something, so I'm just kind of listening to see what it is.
You pray for strength. You get super moy.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's what I mean.
heavy loads.
Of all the things I got going in my life, if I was one I would pick to be going good, it is the one that is going good, you know, because that's what's going to be able to support my family and support
that
my
could be
friends
generational wealth, you know.
Exactly.
And then you build it big enough, somebody wants to buy it out. The next thing, you know, you get the.
I mean, that's kind of the goal, you know, the basic thing of what you hear entrepreneurs. I mean, that's the goal that I'm on, and it's literally the journey I'm on. And because
then you could be a happy coach too, you know, like because I know you're always probably gonna be coaching and helping people out, and
yeah,
that way, so it's not you're not struggling.
Exactly. That's how I want to be. I want to be that like coach that makes money. I could show people like, I mean, I got titles, and like if I was to be done fighting right now, I could be proud of what I've done, and I've accomplished a lot. Yeah. A lot more than a lot of other people, you know.
Well, like, and then shout out to people like Kyle Deaver. He like those kind of guys, you know, help people out along the way. Like,
he helps people, and he helps me in ways that he doesn't help other people. Like, he's my friend, you know. So you could say a lot of people financially support, and I respect that he don't really financially support.
No,
like
I just
but
meant
as far as like
he has
mentor, he's my mentor. So he's never given me no money, but he's given me a lot of great advice. And I reach out to him and I text him every now and then, and I chop it up with ideas and I take it in extreme consideration because
I more so meant it. Yeah, I more so meant it from the like his financial standpoint, not giving out money, like him, like the business aspect of him being
exactly. I see and I respect
going from nothing to.
And I've learned something from that. You know, I went to a convention the other day, and that's what this dude was talking about, and it kind of like shot in with like Kyle, and like makes me respect him and like him more. I already do respect and like the dude.
Like sitting down with him.
Write that out. I don't want him to hear that.
Yeah, no. yeah. Sitting down, it's hard. Shit talking so funny, especially about fighting.
I don't want to hype him up, get his head already bigger.
No, but it's cool. It's cool to see like stories like that, because this is good. Hopefully, that's gonna be one of those stories for you too. It's like figuring out what works. Trial by fire.
Yeah, exactly. Trial by fire. And he was straight sales. He did it from the ground up, you know, knocking on fucking doors and getting it the way you fucking grind, you know. And people, don't know what it is. You know, it's like me starting this. It seems like it was easy, but I've done so much, you know. Right now, I got like 3 phone calls as soon as I get out of here to make and stuff. It's not like I'm crazy busy, you know. I'm not this huge CEO, but I mean, I'm
not yet.
Straight up in the startup company, you know. It's a straight up startup, so I gotta be fucking moving and gotta be making moves, talking to people and doing stuff. And partially why I stayed in Utah too is because I wanted to get credentials around here and get to know people. So one day, my ultimate goal was always to start a business. And I was like, you know, to this point, I'm pretty much well known here in Utah. So, you know, as I've started this business at the perfect time, like all these people that I know, all these connections, I already made them. And I'm like, oh, I need somebody for this. Like, oh, I know a guy that does that. And it's like, not even that I know these people. They're like people that I know. I know. Like, for example, like you know, it's like, I don't just know Justin. If I seen him in the store, we wouldn't just say what's up and walk away. We would fucking chop it up and probably try to make plans and stuff, you know, and try to do something. And like these other people I know around, it's like, I don't just know them. I have experiences with them. So we're not just tight. We're like homeboys and stuff.
And that's something I with me in the acting and things like that too, it happened is I didn't ask for things. Like we've been friends. And then when you get into a position where you have a business or you have something where people can help out, they're like, yes, I'd love to help you out, Julian.
Exactly. And then I love this point, you know, it's a thing where people can help me out, but I'm helping them out as well. So like when you're fighting, you know, you're just fucking asking people for money to entertain, and like they have to believe in you. So if people are giving you fighting when you're money when you're fighting, they fucking care because they don't get nothing out of it. Do you think the sponsors are going to make them? Maybe 1 or 2. You know, I have gotten roofs and stuff for some of my friends from that, but like nothing too much, you know. So if people support you and give you money and you're fucking fighting like a fucking idiot in front of everybody, you know, it's like you're just fucking getting naked and fighting from fucking literally some random fucking dude in front of your parents.
Yeah, you ain't getting no CTE from chamoy.
You know, so it's like, yeah, if people are doing that, they really support and care. But I forgot what I was gonna say.
No worries, dude.
But
so in closing, because we're coming up on what, like almost 2 hours?
No, really? Got some good clips.
Okay, I was gonna say. So we can look into this camera here. So what I usually do is just you could do anywhere from 1 to 3 pieces of advice that you'd give to up and coming fighters, to guests, listeners, to the individuals out there that or the kids that you were at one point in time. Like what are 3 pieces of advice that you would give to the listeners?
For one, don't be afraid to be delusional, you know. See the life that you want and make it happen, you know, no matter what it takes, no matter how crazy it is, if it's starting a company, if it's you're fucking fighting, you know, if you want to be a doctor, a nurse, if you want a certain position, or, you know, you want to be an actor, you want to sing, whatever it is, don't be afraid to be delusional because, you know, the way you see yourself, if you can't see yourself in a certain way, how's the world going to do it, you know? So you got to be able to see yourself before you can do stuff. And when you see stuff like that, it makes it happen, you know. The second thing I would say is to work fucking hard, because you fucking only have a certain amount of time in things. So, you know, you don't want to look back and say, I could have fucking worked harder. You know, that's like the worst feeling. And as my career thus far, I can at least say that, you know, if I was more work and harder, I could have worked and done to get to, you know, prepare for things, I would have. So, you know, in the time that you got to fucking grind. You got to work hard, you know. No matter what it is, something falls off, fucking grind it one other thing. And then when you got time to get back to the other thing that you wanted to do, you know, grind hard in that. Something else pops up, grind hard at that, you know, whatever it is. And then the third advice I would give to anybody doing anything, you know, up and coming fighters, is you got to really enjoy what you're doing. You know, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then it's, you know, it's pointless and it'll show. And that's any entrepreneur, any where you go where people are talking, mentoring and stuff, they will always tell you that, you know. And like I learned that too at a young age from a boss, because I told him I was going to work at a gym instead of the warehouse, and he's like, that's good. Everybody's got to work. But if you don't have a job that you don't like, you can't enjoy life. So you have to have a job that you enjoy to enjoy your life. You know, so whatever you're doing, you got to really enjoy it. And that these are the good old days. I guess that's what I wanted to say too. That these are the good old days that you're living in. You know, when things are happening good and you're living, you know, we're not getting any younger. So the days like right now, you know, in this very moment, what you're doing, whether you're fighting, especially fighting, you know, because the whole, like my coach Ramsey always like to say, it's like this. It is like that, you know. So when you're fighting and you're in the title fight, you're like, can't think of like, oh, the big stage is coming next or all this stuff. You got to enjoy that moment.
Be present.
Be present.
Grass is only green where you water it, right?
Exactly. Like me starting a company and anybody starting something, like the first part of it, you don't like grind through and push that to look for the better part. You know,
celebrate
that's the part,
the milestones, right? Because it's so easy to look for the next thing and the next thing, like we do, and then you don't look at, like you said, looking back. It's like,
so that's one thing I focus with my company. You know, I was sitting there in the stand and like see my mom, see my brother's wife, you know, and see my family there. I'm just like, you know, I could like think about what's gonna happen with this, what's possible with this company. But for right now, I got my family right here, and we're doing something that people are actually asking us for. We're making money, and it's like helping people, making them more healthy and giving them energy. I'm like, I gotta sit back and really just soak this in, you know. And my face is fucking broken, you know. I got family that's sick, you know. I got relationship issues that I was dealing with, you know, all this stuff, you know, all this negative things, like thinking everything on the outside. But I'm like, I'm enjoying this fucking moment. This is like I'm in heaven right now. It's just so nice, you know. And it's just like I was like that when I was fighting too, you know, fighting for titles, like be in the moment. And I'd be like, oh, I gotta enjoy this, you know. I don't know if I'm ever gonna fight again. And when you fight, you realize how dangerous it is. That every fight could be your last. So you have to enjoy the moment. So we're living in the good old days, so enjoy them. That's aside from the first thing I said, that's the third piece of advice. The good old days are right now. Enjoy them. So.
Well, thanks so much, brother, for being here. I love and appreciate you. It's
much love.
Yeah, dude, it's been fun. I'm excited to try the chamoy.
Yeah. If you guys want to support, you can follow Supermoy on Instagram. It's Supermoy Official. And then on Facebook, it's just Supermoy. And I'll have a website and everything. It's all coming out straight startup, so everything's going step by step.
Also, for one, too, we'll have to talk about that afterwards. If you ever need any help, you should talk to him. He's good at the back end stuff.
All right, cool.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah.
And then, where else can they find you other than what are your personal social media accounts?
You can follow me on Instagram, KingJ_100K. And that's my my personal account, like my athletic account. I don't like people really adding me on Facebook. I keep that just for the family. So, I mean, if you want to find me, it's my name on there, but I might not accept it.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever. But Instagram, for sure. I post a lot of cool stuff, my fights. Now, since I've talked about the story, now I can confidently put a little bit more clips on there and stuff. And yeah, you guys find me on there. So you can find me and my family at the downtown farmers market at Pioneer Park, 8 a.m. on Saturdays, moving forward until October 29th. We will be there. So.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm super proud of you, and it's fun to see your next step in entrepreneurship.
Yep, and I'll be a professional grappler for the time being, so in October.
ADCC's champion next
maybe,
up?
Dude. I don't know.
There's
see.
some savages coming up. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. That's the good thing about Utah.
Scary.
There's some fucking dogs around here, so I'm like, there's a lot of
We got so many Brazilians out here now, too.
Yeah, I got my one boy, shout out to my boy Hoffa. He's in the UFC, UFC BJJ. Mm-hmm. He's won a couple on there, too. So
Hell yeah.
He's doing
shout
really
out to
good.
Hoffa.
So there's a lot of hot grappling around here.
Hot grappling.
So
in some small, big rooms now. It's crazy. There's a jiu-jitsu school on every corner nowadays. I love it.
And at least there's always at least one guy on the mat that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm always that guy when I'm like in shape and I'm grappling a lot. I feel good and I can like grapple with them. But if I'm not, the guys will overtake me. So I want to get to a level where I go in and I can like smash these better guys,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just an MMA fighter that can grapple. I'm just now, for the time being, I'm just a straight grappler.
Yeah, dude, that's my favorite. Is like people, like even with me going in and going with some of the fighters and stuff, they don't realize I train.
Yeah.
They're like, what the hell? I thought this guy was a podcaster.
They feel all you're strong and hips are all strong.
It's been funny, like with Talon. Talon was like, Jesus, bro. Like
fucking Talon. I love that dude.
But anyways, so thank you all for listening. Once again, thank you, Julian, for coming in. That was a fun podcast. Me and him are both tired. I know Travis is tired over here. So just in closing, put your bullshit aside. Don't lean into the excuses. Life's supposed to be scary. The greatest version of yourself is just beyond the shadow of fear. Do the hard things and get after it. Get out of your mind and into your hearts. Have a great day, everybody.